Our next guest on the program is Andy Palmiscno. Andy's a principal software engineer with the Energy and Environmental Research Center. And we're going to talk about some software that was created at the EERC called WxPro. And Andy, do I understand correctly this is like the new weather stripping now? This software will help me make my home more energy efficient, save money on energy?
Well, the tool is built to take people that fall into the category that meet income requirements and look at where can they add improvements on their homes will end up saving on their energy bill. So it takes the people that do receive some type of assistance now, makes improvements to their home so that they end up having to receive less assistance in the future. And so it's a win-win in that, look, that's the state or the federal government invests a little bit of money in those people's homes and end up saving money on the end.
Yeah, no, very good way to go. So that's how you identify folks that need that because they're part of a program already, you're saying?
Correct. Yep. So people that meet a certain income level or meet all these requirements within the software, they go through and they say, where are you at income-wise? How many people do you have in your home? A whole bunch of eligibility requirements. And if they meet those requirements, then they qualify then for assistance.
Right, and there is state weatherization offices that do all this work, right?
Correct, yep. There's one in every state. The North Dakota is run by the North Dakota Department of Commerce. And then they have agencies set up throughout the state that do auditing, determining what programs can be done in each of the homes, whether it's windows, doors, siding, insulation, any of that stuff.
And so tell us a little bit about this software. What does it do? What is WxPro?
Okay. So the software is built, the auditors go to the home, they do the measurements on the home, they do blower door tests, they check the insulation levels, they look for major things in the home, if there's a window that's broken, if there's a door that's damaged. But they also start to look into, do you need a new furnace, do you need a new water heater, things like that. They come back to the office or they do it on site, they start to plug in all of these values. And the software then will go through and do the calculations to determine how much heat or energy loss is going out through the home, and then which measures should they perform. And that's based on savings to investment ratio. It looks at the lifetime of whatever they're putting in the measure. Let's say it's a furnace, it's 20 years or whatever it is. They'll look at, are we saving more money by putting this new furnace in versus how much money is being spent over that long run. And then so we'll go through the whole estimate process, and in the end, then it'll give them a list of, these are all the measures that you should perform on the home, and it's worth the investment then to make these changes. So
software, is this is like an app, or is it go on a computer? How do you access the software and put all that? You mentioned all the data that goes in, and is it a one-time thing that the professionals use, or is it constantly monitored and adjusted, or how does that work?
Yeah, it's constantly used. So basically. And you'd have to go to the weatherization assistance program, but I think a home can only weatherize once every 7 years. So they would go in, they would audit the home, they would check to see what can be done, they'd plug everything in the system, and then that client is then in the system indefinitely. If they go to do more work on that home later on, they would check to see, has this already been performed on the home? Have they already received a new furnace? Whatever it is. But the great part about this tool is that it allows the states then to report, or the agencies to report to the states, and the states to report to the federal government in almost real time. There's other software out there that's built that takes a day or two just to run the estimates, just to get the data out. And that's one thing that, so Bruce Hagen is the program manager for the state of North Dakota, and he talks about that there isn't other software out there that does what WxPro does in the time that it does. And so it's kind of created this thing where DOE can just say, hey, we need this report on this, and they know they can get it in near real time from North Dakota and then Nevada as well.
So this software itself, this is kind of an interesting piece of this thing, too, in addition to obviously what this one does, but the actual software was created at the EERC?
It was, yep. So North Dakota Department of Commerce contacted us, I think it was about 10 years ago, and we started to develop it with all of their agency managers. Went through the process as to what do they need, well, what do they need out of it? What kind of reporting do they need out of it? We went back and forth. And it's now on its third iteration. It started with desktop software that was installed on all their machines, and now it's a web-based product. So they can use it anywhere where they have internet access. And we also have a feature then there are places where you just don't have internet access, where the auditors can say, I want to go offline. And then they're able to use the software. It captures all the information. And when they get back to a place where they have internet access, they just hit upload the data, and it automatically spits it into the system itself.
That's really interesting. Well, congrats, Andy. I appreciate that very much, sharing a little bit of the story with us today, and also reminding us of the weatherization office and how they ultimately just trying to be more and more efficient. Commerce Department, ahead of the curve there a little bit, using some technology, using the pros at the EERC. It's a good story. Thank you, sir.
Yep, thank you.
Andy Palmiscno is a principal software engineer at the Energy and Environmental Research Center, which is just off the campus of the University of North Dakota.